Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the new Morales card to review today. So, we're taking a look at a card that is 5'11", high medium work rates, 4-star skills, and a 4-star weak foot. In regards to traits, he does have the finesse shot trait as well as the outside foot shot trait and team player. Not 100% sure what team player does, but I mean guys, it does look like for the fun concept, this is probably the best option to choose out of the three in the beginning, but for different reasons, it makes sense for you to choose Tete Andre Gomez as well, right? But the fact that this card does have the finesse shot trait as well as the outside foot shot trait should make him incredibly usable in the game, right? In regards to his in-games, he does have 95 acceleration with 98 sprint speed. Attacking is at 93, 92, 87, so those are things that you need to improve for sure. And with the marksman chemistry style, you will be increasing his dribbling, his physical, and his shooting as much as possible, which is the three things you probably need the most on this card. Because his base card stats for shooting is not bad, but he definitely needs the shot power boost, long shot boost, finishing boost, especially the attacking positioning boost to make him a really good card, because all the traits that he has, being able to utilize those traits as much as possible is very, very important. This card also does have good passing abilities as well, which is pretty cool. He is a 5'11 player with the dribbling stats that he has, so that should be very interesting because, base card stats for 87 agility, 92 balance may not be crazy enough for the gameplay, depending on what it's going to be, but as you guys know, he was still pretty responsive even before when the gameplay wasn't up to par. So I think he should be fine. But we do want to give him the marksman chemistry style to boost the agility, reactions, ball control as much as possible, because he does also already have 95 composure too. So that's a decent card, 77 strength, giving him a +5 for that as well to bring it up to an 82, which is helpful. +5 for aggression is somewhat helpful for a card like this as well. And then there's a +10 jumping from time to time. It's going to be nice to be able to win the ball in the air, given certain situations, right? It really just depends on how the game kind of presents certain opportunities for you. If there was a way for me to not use Raul in this team, I would, because I really don't like this card for nowadays. But we use him nowadays for the sake of the reviews. So, with this team, guys, we will be using the 4-2-3-1 as we normally do. Just going to put this a little bit higher, depth to 4, and then we're going to have Morales chilling up top in the striker position with Modric and Mateus playing as the CDMs. Now, Morales is definitely going to be on balanced because we want to try out his movement and see how he wants to play. I don't even put stay forward on this guy. Boom. Boom for these guys. Stay back while attacking, and everything should be good. So, let's get into a game, see how he plays up top in the striker position. As you guys know, I reviewed Trezeguet's card the other day, and on balance instructions, he played really well. Morales could be the type of guy where I have to force instructions out of him, but I do see him being pretty good regardless because, again, he was one of the cards people used in the beginning of the year, and he was pretty solid at that point. So, yeah, let's get into a game, see how he plays. Okay. Pogba, Tony Cruz, other Militao. Okay. I'm curious to see how Morales will move against this, for sure. Ooh, Julian was pretty solid right there. That acceleration touch is mostly gameplay than it is the actual player, but he does okay right there. He already has good composure, so that's not going to be the reason for him to make a crazy touch like that, I like the way he's moving so far in the striker position. It's always random, which is good. Near post angle. Nicely done. It was interesting right there because I was analyzing the movement there and Messi made that run into the middle and then Morales kind of like stuck to the side right there, which was definitely very interesting. A very good skill move combo, by the way. It's a nice little fake shot stop. Croqueta. Or that, I think that's the croqueta to get into the space right there. So nicely done. Okay. So this guy is using like a fun team. Like a fun team, but it's also really well balanced at the same time. A 4-2-3-1 again. Or a 4-4-2. One or the other. Dribbling is pretty solid on the card. It's not obviously going to be responsive like Messi or anything like that, but it's still going to be pretty nice. How do you move here? Okay, so he runs in a straight line right there. Interesting. Comes back into position quite quickly. So you have to play off of those runs right there. Very, very important to play off those runs. Dribbling was pretty good right there to kind of like get himself into the position to potentially score an opportunity right there. Not too bad. So he does seem like the type of player where I would probably want to give instructions to. His movement is not terrible. Good little goal right there. His movement is not terrible, but I feel like it could be slightly better, right? Some of the runs that he makes is not ideal for my personal playstyle, right? But it's not necessarily to say that it's bad. I'm just saying that I want to make him as perfect as possible. It's one of those things, right? But so far, he's performing really well in the team. I think he is getting himself into good positions to score certain opportunities. He's fun to use so far. Oh, I really want to try a shot from that angle. Really, really crisp. Really, really crisp. In those situations, sometimes certain players don't take great shots from those angles, but he takes a very, very good direct shot right there. I'm starting to adjust to his instructions a little bit. Not his instructions, but his characteristics in regards to the runs. I might not have to put instructions on him. Again, this is all based off of personal preferences. Off the ball movement is not bad at all. I'm just trying to like work a way where I can essentially make him perfect for my team. But I do like him on balance so far. Because you kind of have to, it's one of those things you're going to have to adjust to sometimes. It just depends on your playstyle, right? So you see how he makes that run upwards right there? Stuff like that is what you're supposed to realize, right? Now, again, because of playstyle, you may just want to build up your play a little bit slower, wait for him to get back into the central area to kind of make those angled runs. But I want like consistency constantly, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I aim for. A little bit too much power there with the messy pass, but a good run with Morales. Oh, his first time touching an instant tournament there was right there was actually solid. So he is able to actually do those when given the opportunity to. Interesting. So he's rotating with Messi right now. Messi sometimes kind of occupies a striker position. Morales plays off of that run, obviously. I kind of want to try him out potentially on just the stay central instruction because I feel like if he makes those angled runs, but with the stay central instruction he goes back quicker, we could be looking at a really nice card in regards to off the ball movement. So let's go ahead and switch to that now. It's a matter of just trying out, guys. I like him on the balance instructions. I don't like him as much as Trezeguet was on balance instructions in regards to those specific movements. Again, personal preference. But let's see how he moves with stay central on. Okay, so you see how he continuously makes that run to the bottom side? I wish that in those situations he would understand, hey, I'm pushing to the bottom right here, but I should probably push to the top instantly. Again, personal preference, right? Maybe you can utilize the side space right there, wait for that run from Messi into the middle area. For sure, you could totally do that, but it's just a personal preference of mine to hold up that play in the middle and then wait for him to make that specific run. It's all about personal preference, you know? It's just a situation where it could end up being like a 3-0 and now it's like a 2-1, right? Because of, again, the way that I want the players to move up there. Oh, that's got to be a goal. That has got to be a goal, Simone. Has to be a goal there. Oh, man. Beautiful movement with him there, too. Okay, we got the finesse shot off right there. We'll take the finesse shot. Simone's movement is fantastic. Yeah, I'm not really liking him too much on stay central. Morales feels like I'm limiting the card. Yeah, it feels like I'm limiting the card. How about... I'm curious now. How about I try him out on stay central target man and see if his off the ball move makes him move a certain way. So far, balance seems to be the best choice for this card, which is interesting. But, yeah, we'll see if he works better with stay central target man. It fixes a lot of strikers when you put that instruction on them, so... It's not like he needs fixing. I'm just saying it's something that I want to try to improve as much as possible, right? Okay, so he still makes that run right there. He does stop. Runs off to the side. You see how he runs to the side? That's what I don't really like, because when he runs to the side, he doesn't understand when he should cut back on the inside, right? And again, personal preference, but it is something that I like my strikers to do. And it feels like whatever instruction I put on this card, I feel like he could potentially play the exact same way. Now, again, sometimes players behave this way because of the types of players that you have in your team. So what I am going to be doing is I'm going to kick this ball out of play, actually, if I can, because, you know, the commands in this game are absolutely terrible. So the ball's out of play. We're going to go ahead and try him. Who was I using? It was Simone there. Yeah, there's not really an excuse for that situation either then. Because I was thinking it was Raul, so but Simone, if he cuts inside, it doesn't make sense for Morales to go to the side anyways, right? False 9, getting behind, drift wide. Nah. Yeah, it might seem like the type of player that's best utilized on balance instructions, or potentially in a striker formation where you're using like a 4-4-2 with a two strikers up top. So the way that you have to play with this card is you have to utilize the side positions with him and play with the cams through the middle. That's what you want. That's what you're supposed to do with a card like this. That's what his movement is suggesting anyways. Because he does do those forced runs, but if you have players in the middle that have good attacking AI, you know, they'll kind of just, they'll go into the right positions once you kind of like force those side runs, right? Yeah, he definitely feels better on balance instructions. I wouldn't put anything on him. It actually affects the way he moves a little bit too much in regards to like it being bad, to be honest. So just put balance instructions on him. I think he moves the best in that way. Because again, he just plays off of the cams better, right? So you just have to get used to how he wants to move, you know? Oh, I tried to go for a ball roll right there, but the game told me to go screw myself, so. I thought I switched formation. You see how Morales stuck to the side too much? Yeah, I was wondering where he went. Yep. Once you get that angle right there near post, 4-star, 4-star, so you kind of have to do the somewhat stopped scoop turn to get into that position to score that opportunity. Yeah, if you guys want to use this card, man, give him just the balance instructions. I wouldn't force anything out of the card. If you're using a 4-4-2, a stay central definitely would make sense because it's two strikers up there, but if it's a lone striker position, it has to be balance instructions. Oh, I just really want to try that skill move to get into the position. Normally, I think a roulette would make more sense because you could do the roulette, take the small little touch a little bit quicker than that whole little combo right there. But he did okay right there. Oh, the finesse shot, man. And coming off of a skill move, too. He should have totally got that ball, but that's from second man pressing at the same time. So, you know, they have two commands in the same exact place for some reason, but it was going to be a good finesse shot right there. You could see that even off of a skill move, it's still crisp, because when you do it off of a skill move, it's not going to be as accurate. You kind of have to settle the ball a certain way for it to really come off. Like that one. You can't, like I said, if you come off a skill move, it's kind of like that emphasis that the player puts on the ball to make them hit the ball less consistently, but he still did really good right there, to be fair. Alright guys, so final verdict on the Morales card is that he's pretty fun, but a couple things I need to talk about in regards to him. If you're going to be using him as a lone striker, balance instructions seems to be the best instructions to give this card. You could totally try out different ones, whether it's stay central or stay central target man. It'll really depend on your playstyle. I just feel like on the balance instructions, I get to utilize his off the ball movement a little bit more. And in terms of him getting into certain positions to try to hit the finesse shot, try to hit the outside foot shot, I find him often going to the sides and kind of sticking there depending on the attacking players that I have. I do feel like that's going to be like a constant thing with him for sure. but that's not necessarily a huge deal because if he ever does like the cut inside where, you guys saw the last clip where I hit the finesse shot, once you get that specific angle, because he has the trait, he'll be able to hit it anyway. So balance just seems to make the most sense on him. If you're using him in a two-striker formation, stay central would probably be the most ideal thing to have. He does have 95 stamina, so, you could tell him to come back in defense as well, and it wouldn't necessarily be a problem. But I think the marksman chemistry style probably makes the most sense in the card because he requires those shooting boosts for you to be able to utilize his outside foot shot trait and his finesse shot trait. Finesse shot trait is going to be a very, very helpful thing to have with the increased stats. I do think a card plays mostly to their base card stats when it comes to literally everything in this game. So it might not feel as good as some players that already have base 90 stats for basically all these shooting stats, but it'll still be very, very helpful. Again, you guys can see from the last shot that he took that even coming off of a skill move that has like this emphasis touch on it, he still hits a finesse shot really well. You have to take those settled touches for you to be able to hit those really nicely. Like sometimes when you come off of a drag back, depending on your gameplay, the way that they can kind of like transition to the shot is a little bit more smoother, or is a little bit smoother. So it would just work more if you were to take those certain settle touches with him, especially with that trait. So it's a fun card to use. I don't think you guys would regret it if you guys end up getting it. I do think that most of these cards are SBC fodder for people, unless you guys are trying to have fun using different cards in your team. A Spanish striker up there with next to Rodrigo. I don't know. So it depends what type of concept you're working with. But yeah, I thought he was a fun card to use with the marksman chemistry style. Didn't think he was super responsive, but responsive enough for me to enjoy in the game, obviously. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this review. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.